much, and thank you, David, and everyone at Ann Arbor for getting us here and showing the film.
Well, I want to open it up to questions to the audience, but maybe a good place to start is just how the two of you met, because this is such a relationship when you make a film that's that intimate and playful and creative. And maybe just tell us the story of how you guys.
I met Genesis 7 years ago. I was finishing a film on Tony Conrad at the time, and I went to see Suicide with Alan Vega at the Kneading Factory, and it was really disappointing, bad concert. I was such a fan. And then the third part was The Majesty, which I had never seen and didn't know anything about. And it was Genesis on stage with Lady Jaye and Brian Dahl. And her voice, everything really completely fascinated me at the moment. And I left the theater very deep in my thoughts, and the next day I went to an opening, which I never do, and got pushed on the side and walked on the foot of someone that I turned around. And it was this big gold teeth smile. It was Genesis. So she talked to me and invited me to her home. And a few weeks later I went, and Lady Jaye came down, looked at me, and we talked. And they said, okay, you're the one. And a few weeks later I was on tour. So that was how we met. And that lasted 7 years.
Let's take some questions from the audience. I have a feeling there's some good questions out there. Just raise your hands or call it out. Don't be shy. There are no rules for Q&A. Come on. I know there's some questions out there. Right there.
All right. So my question was kind of like Topi related, actually. I was wondering how you feel in like this day and age, how relevant and how much progress has been made by the original thing that the temple put out, essentially, like about chaos magic and sort of like vague behaviorism.
So the question's about how much progress you feel has been made as far as temple magic
as far as the original tenets of the temple.
Well, you know, we never live in the past. That's one thing that's really clear. So we always look towards a new future, and one of the things we've been doing lately is recreating a new approach to the way that life happens that we call the One True Topi Tribe. In fact, there's some of the tribe just over there. But this time the emphasis is not so much on tradition. We've been looking at the world and thinking that it's collapsing in very many ways. Everyone knows that. The economic systems are so redundant, it's pathetic. And the political systems too. They're all based on binary systems and intimidation. So we feel the most important thing now is to look for ways for people to find, no matter how small, a group of people that they trust, and to create their own small units, their tribes, their communities, and to learn to share their resources, both mental and material. And in a way, that's what the film shows too. It happened because everybody involved gave themselves 100% to the idea. So the film is an example of what we do now.
Other questions from the audience? Right over there, right in the middle. Losier, thank you for both artists for putting so much theory into practice. Some other questions right over here.
So, does the tribe continue then? Are you still recording things that are happening now?
Are you still recording? Is the tribe continuing? Looking forward.
Of course, we never stop. Never, never. Not even with death. Lady Jaye's still working hard. So we keep going, and the film itself is alive. Marie's created something remarkable, and it's exactly what Lady Jaye wanted, and it also is an example of what we believe in. So creation. It's all about that, as we said in the film. You should never surrender to the way that society tries to make you forget your own potential. You should always fight through that, and no matter what happens, no matter how painful, you should always think about the next generation and what you might do as an example for them. Let's have a question about the film.
Yeah, let's have a question about the film. We got some film people back there. Right over here. The question is, how did you enter the world of Genesis? What was your approach, your process for that?
I just don't, I go with the bullets. I shoot with a silent film hand crank bullets, which shoots 3-minute rolls of films. So it's very edited already, just by the fact of how expensive it is, and also it's how you shoot. And I just spent many years just shooting. I wasn't really interested in making a rock and roll film, and doing a film about throbbing gristle, but just really shooting what was there, which was my relationship with Jay and Jen and what I was witnessing, which was basically the love story with all of what you can see, which is also a little bit of explanation of the background of Genesis, because of course in the basement of the house was the archives, which fascinated me personally with all the Derek Jarman files and all the posters, and that came in the story. But nothing was very explained, so I just spent time filming, and then also, since there's no sync sound, recording, putting the mic in the living room, recording just the ambient sound, but also recording rehearsals. Sometimes some of the rehearsal became songs because they had no idea what they were actually doing. So that was nice.